So the last time you were with me, which is a while, I hope you missed me. Now today, I want to do something which I did last year. So those who are not here will miss out of their own accord. So you see the date there, right? 31st of March 2023. So this is my latest payslip as a senior environmental health practitioner. Oh, I missed that. I missed that. I missed the joke. What was the joke? Do you understand how to read a payslip? Do you understand how to read a payslip? Can you guys still see? Can you guys still see? Are you with me? Guys, are you with me or what? Can you guys still see? Okay. Let me zoom it out a bit. Perhaps let's work on it section by section. Again, we are busy with human resource management. So you can't manage human resources and not actually pay them money, right? So I'll be transparent. We'll use my latest payslip just for the demonstration and maybe a bit of motivation. Firstly, is it possible for a household of an EHP to earn all-encompassing in a year? Do you think it's possible? You don't think it's possible? Okay, we'll do the math, ne? We'll do the math. So this is what you would say is my primary salary, meaning where I'm employed, this my biggest employer is, as you well know, right? They first state the period of for which you are being paid, your full names. Then when I started within the city, this is the office where my pay office is allocated, ne? Obviously, my account number will show the X, my title, so far what has been taxed, and then my annual salary, and this is the basic annual salary without the travel allowance. Ne? Then the company contribution every month. This is now towards your pension as an employee, your UIF, etc. So let's look now at salaries. So remember this, you divide it by 12, it's the annual salary. So this is the salary, the basic salary, right? Senior environmental health practitioner, basic salary. And remember, it doesn't mean because I'm a senior EHP, the next senior EHP will earn the same. So there's a senior EHP that was maybe a senior EHP 5 years before me. It will mean that their basic salary will be more than mine, correct? It makes sense, right? Good. Then there's a travel allowance. So our travel allowance is broken up into, this is the fuel portion that they pay you for the fuel that you use for whatever car of your choice that you buy, right? And then the 80% is then what you call the installment amount, right? So every month, then there's a telephone allowance, there's a housing allowance. So if you want that extra subsidy every month from your employer, if there's an allowance for housing, then they'll give you that particular allowance as well. But in my case, it works out if, let's say, your spouse also works in government, then the policy says that only one of you can receive that particular incentive from government. Ne? And then, so that's the gross earnings. Now, here's something that's interesting. PAYE, does anyone know what that is? Yeah. Pay as you earn, correct. So that's the tax every month. That's the tax every month. Ne? That's the tax every month. Then the pension contribution from my side, so 7% from my side is that amount. Then the employer would double, would also contribute, but double what I contribute to my pension fund. Then UIF is unemployment insurance fund. So should I then be unemployed, maybe retrenched or whatever, I can claim 3 months salary from UIF. Then after that, I'm on my own. Ne? Then consumer accounts, this is now my rates and taxes on my 2 properties. Then SAMU membership, this is the union. Consumer accounts, once also there's 2 properties as I mentioned. So these are the total deductions. So 23,497. To think that when I started community service, I was getting paid 18,000 back in 2010. And now my total deductions are more than what I got paid 13 years ago. So this is what goes into my account from the city of 𝐿𝐻𝐻 every month. You must remember that for you to earn $1 million a year, you need 83,500 a month. You need 83,500. So this, from this particular salary, you'd agree this. Okay, correct. So as I mentioned, now this is year-to-date totals. My financial year starts in February, personally, because I started in February for the city. And then these are now your leave days or whatever, the properties that they take. So if my bond was also deducted from here, the amount would be there as well and deducted. So this amount doesn't mean much. It depends if there are further deductions, like medical aid. I'm under my wife's medical aid, so I don't need to worry about that particular aspect, right? Bond, also in terms of bond, it takes from her salary because there's more, for provincial government, the allowance is more than for local government. I think with us, it's 1,000 or something a month. Then with them, it's close to 2,000, 1.8, 1.9. So if you just calculate over the years, it builds up. So this is now from just one salary and what a person needs, right? Then I work here. That's one module. They pay 1,000 a month. That's the gross. Ne? And then they take, with University of Johannesburg, they only deduct tax from that. And when they consolidate the tax season is when SARS combines and then deducts from the various portions, and then I may end up owing SARS, or SARS may end up owing me. Ne? Then from my other endeavors, I have properties, 3 properties which bring in rental income, right? I have a business. I won't declare how much I get paid from the business, but it's a lot. It's not as much as this because the business has to operate. And one day maybe you'll work for me. I don't want a situation where you like, whatever I'm offering you, you won't understand that for 4 years I wasn't taking a salary from the business, isn't it? So I then have to benefit from that. Then there's the fact that my wife also works as a chief environmental health practitioner, and she brings home. So is it possible for a household of EHPs to bring in 1.2 a year? Yes. There's also the bonuses. There's also what you get from SARS. Ne? So essentially, you must forget the mentality of people who will drive big cars but don't know what to do with their money. Because once you drive that big car, also build it up, the basics and the foundation for your financial future, then it means that you are in trouble because you are impressing people that went here for the 4 years that you were studying. Ne? So it's things that you need to consider. And I'm only sharing this to inspire you because now the module that we're going to get into, it has its ups and lows. So this is the up, the fact that in environmental health, depending on what you do, you can make money. I'm sure there are places where you went where the EHPs are actually making a decent living. Besides their salaries, I'm sure they try to empower you so that you are motivated. I get for now, you guys are always tired. Always complaining about how difficult things are, etc. But to get to a level like this, where executive managers in the municipality, when you combine whatever they earn and whatever you do on the side, you may make more than them. But they just have the title. So it's possible, guys. You guys just need to be focused. It's possible, ne? It's only the beginning. Okay, so those that have lost out, it's a bonus. Let's move on with the lecture. Let's move on with the lecture. So we are moving on to recruitment and selection. Today even my system is slow. So here's the bummer around the situation that's happening currently within South Africa. Ne? Here are some employment and unemployment stats for this year. looking back from the last quarter of last year. So the number of unemployed persons rose by 28,000 to 7.753 million. The number of employed increased by 169,000 to 15.9 million. So there are more employed, but also from a research dynamic, you need to understand it depends on the variables that they're looking at. How many people are actively looking for work? How many people have given up in trying to seek work and have opened their own things, and suddenly they don't fit based on what the statistics say, right? So the labor force overall went up by 197,000 to 20.